Hello Factorio people, welcome back to the broadcast from Space Age. A semi-streamlined Let's Play tutorial of stuff. Thank you so much for the support. The Gleber episodes especially. I knew the Gleber ones would be interesting. I knew that's what people wanted to see. We're going to Aquilo today. So if you want to do the old like, comment, subscribe. Just before we jump straight into it, there was an update to my preferred rate calculator mod called Rate Calculator. Changelog. Fix that science pack consumption rates for Biolab were incorrect. I think we briefly mentioned that last time, that was a problem, that was possibly wrong. So I'm glad that was correct. Anyway, they fixed it, so well done. Well done. Alright, now let's jump straight into it, shall we? We're in the Aquilo shuttle, just doing a few rounds of the planets. The best way I've found is to do sort of a loop. So, go from Nauvis to Vulcanus, to Gleber, to Aquilo, to Fulgora, back to Nauvis. Because you're going to need to go to all 5 of these planets with the stuff. Obviously you could go counterclockwise if you were some sort of hideous monster, but you know. The benefit of doing it this way is that... well, actually there's no real benefit to doing it either way, to be honest with you. I suppose if you do it this way then... No, there's no real benefit. We're taking a whole bunch of stuff with us for the first trip, which I've got here in my Aquilo single deliveries section, so this will get deleted once we've been once. And then also just a generic shuttle request, so we want this every single time. So we're going to get the cryogenic science packs from Aquilo, we're going to get this stuff from Fulgora, heat pipes, processing units and low density structures from Fulgora. We'll make rocket fuel on Aquilo. You can't make everything to make a rocket on Aquilo. We'll get some carbon fibre from Gleber, we'll get some tungsten carbide, some tungsten plates, and some refined concrete. And we'll get some basic stuff from Nauvis. Also, I noticed that there's a slight mistake in this design, in that the space platform hub is actually attached to various things, but the read contents thing was not ticked. So, like, I was telling this inserter to not put more than 2,000 calcite in the hub. But it was just continuing to load it in. There's loads of the stuff in there, 2,600. So I ticked this, and then as soon as I tick this, that breaks something else, because this is now attached to this. The space platform hub is attached to this combinator. When this combinator says only put fuel in the nuclear power plant if there is 0 fuel on the signal. But of course there will always be fuel on the signal because there's fuel in the hub as well. And that's obviously easily fixed by just detaching this and reattaching it with a red cable to the nuclear power plant, and then we'll take these back out, these go back in the hub, and then that's all sorted. So I believe I've reflected that in the large frigate design. If not, I will do by the time you watch this episode. It will be definitely reflected. So we're just going to do the rounds here. We'll need more stuff than this, but it's okay. We can send the spaceship backwards and forwards. Aquilo is a slow start. It's a slow burn, if you'll pardon the pun. And I'll talk more about it when we get there, but you need a lot of stuff to get going. The builds themselves won't end up being that large. And this is all stuff that I vaguely remember needing from my previous playthrough, so when we first get there, and you can do this for yourself, when you get the trigger technology, it's a very small flow chart, really. Cryogenic power plants need processing units, superconductors, lithium plates, refined concrete. Lithium plates is the only thing you can make on Aquilo. So you need to bring in all of that stuff. You need to bring in the processing units anyway to make rockets. And then you're going to need heat pipes. You're going to need some assemblers. Assemblers is the one thing that I forgot forgot that there are some things that you just can't make in a cryogenic plant when you get it, so unfortunately that kills a bit of time. But that's okay. Alright, let's just skip ahead as we get through this trip to Aquilo. Here we are. Let's go. Let's also send a whole bunch of stuff down, shall we? Look, this is still a problem. Still a massive box around the thing. I don't know, maybe... I do have in debug mode allow extra zoom levels, so maybe that's what it is, but, you know... I feel like we've been pretty unlucky here as well on Aquilo. Like, this starting island is extremely small. Well, it was certainly a lot smaller than the previous playthrough I had. Anyway, right, let's send some stuff down. We want the robots, for sure, and we want the cargo landing pad and some cargo bays to start with. Just a small bit of behind the scenes, if you really want to know. If you press escape and then do shift control when you press settings. Is it shift control or is it just shift? It is shift and control when you press settings. You get this option here called the rest. And in here I've changed a few things in the sound settings to make the music start faster, so there's not so much silence. You may have noticed when you're playing yourself with the music on that there's often a lot of gaps in between tracks. So sometimes, you know, and I didn't want that in the video. I wanted there to be some music happening basically all of the time. So I've lowered these, and I've also ticked the box to ambient music based on physical location, which I much prefer, because as you get further and further into the game and you're just sort of chilling on Now Vis or something, and you press menu and you want to look at a shuttle, it will suddenly change to the space music. Well, not suddenly change, that's the thing, is it fades out and it fades back in again. You want to see what's going on Now Vis, it fades out, it comes back in with a Now Vis music, and I didn't like it. So that's how I've managed to do that. If anybody is astute enough to notice, the music is not changing in the same way as it would in default settings. Right. Give me the stuff, please. Cargo landing bay. So on Aquilo you can only build on the snow, or you can build on the ice platforms, smooth ice, should you then cover it in concrete. So for now we'll just plop this here, just because that's what we've got. Squeeze in some of these if we can. Holding shift here to see where it's allowed and where it's not allowed. No, that's not allowed either. Okay, and then in the process of that we have destroyed some of the rocks, so we've got some lithium on us, which is basically the only trigger technology on Aquilo. Just get some lithium, make some lithium, and then you're done. And then with that we can bring everything down, for the most part. Give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this. Yep, sure, why not? Yeah, but give me all the concrete. Give me some solar panels, give me the nuclear power plant. Yeah, give me the heat exchangers, give me this. Yep. Give me the nuclear fuel. Give me most of the nuclear fuel. Rocket capacity 10. Yeah, go on then, give me 10. Give me 10 of those as well, just so that we don't take all of them from the ship, because the ship might need some as it's hovering up here to do stuff. Alright, so now we've got concrete. We bring the concrete for this, and we bring the refined concrete, because refined concrete goes into cryogenics plants. And also we need the concrete to make the rocket silo, which is another thing that I don't think I brought any electric engines to make the rocket silo. But that's okay, we're going to be here for a little while. So the problem you've got on Aquilo is that, just give me all of this, is that stuff freezes. If it's not attached to a heat source and it doesn't generate heat itself, it freezes. Turn alt mode off just so I can show you. Frozen belts, oh no. Frozen inserters. Solar panels are exempt. Furnaces are exempt. Power poles are exempt. Heat pipes themselves are exempt. Heat exchangers? Exempt. It mostly makes sense as to what's exempt and what's not, and what would be super irritating to not be exempt, like power pods for example. And you fix that by using heat pipes to move heat around. So let's also bring down, there you are, the heat exchangers, and I brought some rocket fuel with me just to get this process kick-started a little bit. If you can put nuclear fuel in the nuclear power plant, obviously, and that will very slowly make some heat. And you can also use the heating towers. The heating towers are a bit more efficient for that kind of heating. The problem is that you kind of have to sit around for a little while at the beginning because you need power as well. And you can use solar panels, and I have brought some solar panels, but I brought some solar panels just for the very basic process of... Should have brought some chemical plants down as well. Give me those. Just give me everything. Why don't I have these? Oh well. So I've chosen to bring a nuclear reactor and some fuel cells because this sort of kills two birds with one stone, right? You get to use the heat from it to do your heat pipes, and also it's very energy efficient in terms of the heat exchangers for the turbines to make power. I brought 25 heat exchangers just because that was a rocket capacity, and 10 steam turbines because that was a rocket capacity. I also brought with me some... No, I haven't. I will do eventually. Bring with me some Mark II efficiency modules. So with Mark II efficiency modules, I never needed more than 10 steam turbines to get everything done. 10 steam turbines attached to 5 heat exchangers rather, was more than enough. The problem is you just have to get going somehow. And if you don't know what you're doing, you end up like tearing it down, and of course when you tear it down, you lose all the heat and you have to start again. So I have tried to simulate that, because that is just the way it's going to go as you work things out and as you realise, you know, how to build things. And also when you start getting enough stuff to have this ice platform recipe, which works just like landfill, but on ice. But then of course you still need the concrete to be able to build on it. You can't build on it without covering it in concrete first, which you can get away with by... you should be able to get away with holding shift. Why is that not working? How strange. That should definitely work. How strange. Can't explain that one. And then of course the benefit of that is that any ice platforms that you've already put down yourself you can pick back up like regular landfill. So get your old deconstruction planner out, destroy all these rocks to get ice platforms and ice and some lithium, even though you don't really need it. You can go out and about. Oh, robots also don't really work very well on Aquilo. They have much faster battery drain and they take longer to charge, which doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me. I thought things like that worked better in the cold, but whatever. So just be aware of that. You can go out and about exploring to other islands if you want to try and find more ice and ice platforms to get you going, but you won't find much, really. I didn't find much. This is quite juicy. But I didn't find anywhere worth relocating the cargo landing pad from, basically because you need this oil and you need this lithium brine and you need some fluorine. There's a bit more fluorine up there. So really just wherever you land is going to be it. That is what you should do. Right, let's do a few small things. Okay, the nuclear power plant has warmed up. the heating tower has also got rockets attached to it. I used some solar panels to kickstart this process of melting ice into water, and then now that we've got some water, we have got steam and steam turbines. So these solar panels can now go. We should be self-sustaining, and then you need to run the heat pipes around so that they touch everything that can be frozen, which is exactly as annoying it sounds. Cannot build on ice platform. The game really doesn't seem to like the difference between concrete and other concrete. Yeah, it's exactly as annoying as it sounds. So when you remove the heat pipe connection from something, it goes away. The heat goes away, the thing freezes. Got iron with me to make pipes. It's more efficient. Well, it pays to check what's more efficient, right? So you might think, oh, a heat pipe is 20 copper plates and 10 steel, I'll just bring the copper and the steel. But this has a rocket capacity of 50. So that is the equivalent of 1,000 copper and 500 steel. Whereas copper only can stack to 1,000 in a rocket, and steel can stack to 400. So it is more efficient to bring the heat pipes, but it's then by the same token more efficient to bring the iron plates and craft those directly into pipes, because you could bring 1,000 iron plates in a rocket, which would make 1,000 pipes, whereas you can only put 200 pipes in a rocket. So, you know, just pay attention to little things like that. So all of your designs have to kind of basically go out the window while you work out how to... The concrete, please! I don't understand why this is causing such a problem. Did you not come down? You're at Folgora. Okay, that's clever. I sent it around on another lot, clearly, to get some more stuff. And forgot. So, fine. Give me the refined concrete instead. I'll just change all this later. Yeah, okay. Cannot build on ice platform. I honestly did not have this problem at all when I was... It's like it doesn't want to use refined concrete by default. Until it's... Or maybe it has to be attached to, or you have to have just used it, or whatever. Anyway. So yeah, you kind of have to throw out everything you know about your designs, because you now need to also make sure that heat pipes get attached to everything. Which is exactly as fun as it sounds. Okay. So we can, in theory, now build, get some lithium. We could have done some lithium a long time ago, in fact, because I had the steel furnaces, and steel furnaces are immune to being frozen, and I had the lithium, and I had some rocket fuel on me, so that's fine. We can do that quite easily. Could have done that a long time ago. And then once we've got that, we can get the cryogenic plant, which is processing units, superconductors, lithium plates, and refined concrete. But of course, you have to make the first one in either assembly machine or a cryogenic plant itself. So that was a bit of a mistake on my part, forgetting to bring a single assembly machine. The cryogenic plant does not have a productivity bonus in the same way that the other machines from the planets do. The foundry does, the electromagnetic plant does, the biolab does. The cryogenic plant does not. However, it does have 8 module slots. But in the early game, you're better off putting efficiency modules in them, just because you will not have that much power on Aquilo until you get down the tech tree and you research fusion reactor. And then once you research fusion reactor, power is just basically free for the rest of the game on Aquilo, and it's free everywhere else that you can be bothered to ship the stuff. So yeah, do this in 2 stages. Do like a bootstrap base just to make cryogenic science. Use that cryogenic science to research the things that you need, because you need cryogenic science to research processing units, quantum processors, sorry, to make fusion reactors anyway. So we're going to do it, basically that's the approach, to do it in 2 stages. And if you can do it in 2 stages, then good for you. For me, it usually takes 3 stages: a bootstrap base like this, and then a bigger base once I've got enough space, what I feel is enough space, and then the main base once I've got the fusion power done. So let's bring the stuff that we actually need, which would have been good to do straight away, and take it from there. Okay, so we've expanded ever so slightly. We've plugged in the crude oil into a chemical plant which is making the ammonia. This is a very easy recipe. You just use the offshore pump to plug the ammonia, the ammoniacal solution into the chemical plant. This gives you ammonia out, and then you use that ammonia and some of the crude oil to make solid fuel, and then you've got loads of solid fuel which you can use to kickstart your next heat exchanger. But what we're doing is we're just waiting a few moments for the ship to arrive, the concrete to arrive properly, and we'll get the assembly machine. We can make the first cryogenic plant. Yeah, so cryogenic plants don't have any productivity bonus, so it's not too critical to make the next one in a cryogenic plant. The only reason you would do that is just because they're a lot faster. So, whoa, yeah, give me the concrete anyway. Okay, right. So give me this concrete so I can replace the refined concrete. I have this deconstruction planner, special deconstruction planner in the utilities book. It's called Remove Excess Aquilo Concrete. Because as you plop stuff down, it's going to put concrete underneath automatically, as we've worked out. But if you then destroy something, the concrete stays. So with this Remove Excess Aquilo Concrete, this will just get rid of all of the concrete that is not needed, because it's not on ice. But it will not destroy ice platforms that you've put down. So you can leave the space that you've made, but get rid of any excess concrete. So periodically I just sort of drag this over the base as I realise that I've moved things around and don't need the concrete. Okay, right. So, if I put this here, for example, you'll see it doesn't work. It's put concrete down here because these two were rough ice patches, but... And, yeah, we've got everything we need. So we'll throw that in, and... there we go. I just did that to show you. I don't... it's obviously... could have just very easily put it there. Cryogenic plant. They're big boys. They're big boys for sure. Don't make another one, please. Thank you. Yeah, they're big boys for sure. They use 1.55 megawatts maximum consumption, minimum consumption 50 kilowatts. Somebody did leave a comment about how I didn't quite understand what those numbers actually mean, and I think you're probably right. This is max consumption 1.55 megawatts, so if we go into the chart for the last minute, 1.6 megawatts, that is correct, and then 50 kilowatts when it's idle. But then if you put the... don't ask me why I don't just send everything down at once, like clearly I'm not a very smart man, we've established this already. Still haven't noticed that this is broken yet, but whatever, it's funny. If we put one efficiency module in, it says 900 kilowatts plus 50. 2 in is the limit, 80%, 300 kilowatts plus 50. So the max consumption is 350 kilowatts. So now if we get it to build something, go into the power chart, we should see this is 300. Okay, I don't understand your comment then, I'm afraid. If you would like to elucidate further as to how I've gotten that wrong, then that would be quite helpful, but it seems to be working in the way that I thought it would, but I don't know. Apologies for not being very smart. Okay, so we've got some cryogenic plants. We'll just keep on making these. Got loads of lithium. We're bringing the processing units and the superconductors in. Now, the cryogenic plant is a fancy chemical plant. It can do most of the things a chemical plant can, including plastic, batteries, solid fuel from ammonia, etc. So we need to sort of rejig this all around a bit now, because ammonia is your bread and butter on Aquilo. Ammonia, with the ice byproduct, the ammonia goes into the solid fuel, which we'll need to heat the place, into the rocket fuel, which we'll need to launch rockets. into the fluoroketone, which we'll definitely need, into the lithium, which we'll definitely need, and the fusion power cells, which we'll definitely need. So we'll need lots of ammonia. But we need to deal with the ice byproduct for that. 6 cryogenic plants, basically, is your limit. 6 will give you 60 ice per second, which is, of course, 1 green transport belt. And that's why I brought some recyclers as well, because we're going to have loads of ice and nothing to do with it. Right, let's rejig this place around. Okay. It's a mess. It's always going to be a mess. It's just unfortunate, because you need to put these heat pipes in. And this is why I brought long-handed I only brought long-handed inserters and bulk inserters, because the belts will freeze, the inserters will freeze, the pipes will freeze. The pipes have got an input and an output for the ammonia process. They've got a belt output as well. So like, I like to do it like this. I like to have my machine and then a space for inserters and pipes, and then heat pipes going like this. And then if you don't need the... So like, if you don't actually need all of these inserters, you could also just put your heat pipe there like that. But because we're dealing with so much ice here, and I just want it gone. This is 10 ice a second. I've just done 3 long-handed inserters, because of course we've not even started to look at even thinking about beginning to start with quality. The only thing I've done with quality is I've just asked these 3 plants on Folgora to just make quality modules. And every 5 hours I've come back and gone, oh, I've got some blue ones now, oh, I've got some more purple ones now, okay, fine, just start plugging the purple ones in and maybe we'll get some more purple ones, you know? And that's mostly because everything that you need to make that stuff, this quality module stuff, is free on Folgora. You know, like, we've not even got that much of it. So I've just been stockpiling these, and I'll do something with them later. Just another small thing of note is that I decided to stop Folgora from doing anything if we hit 4,000 electromagnetic science packs, and the way I've done that is very simply attached circuit conditions to, or logistics network conditions to the unloading inserters, and just say don't unload scrap if we've got all the science packs we need. Because, you know, it is all free, but at the same time, you know, we were hitting 20,000 limit on a lot of things, and most of the scrap was just then being recycled into nothing anyway, so I just thought I'll just leave it doing nothing. I also put in a condition to just not let the holmium plate go through. If you remember, this is just a simple circuit condition that passes any item that we have more than 20,000 of through to the requester chest network. But if you put a simple and if the thing that you're checking is holmium, then don't send it through, then this is how you blacklist things from that process. So you could do that with anything. So if we do it with copper, for example, just say if the signal is not equal to copper, then don't send it through. This is a bad example because we don't actually have copper, but if I just very quickly make this, let's make this, we've got 19995 copper cable, so if I make this signal copper cable instead, and then change this signal to 19,000, we'll see that that has not worked. That's funny. That should have worked. That definitely should have worked. It's because I pressed equal. I've pressed equal to and not equal to. Oh man, he's so smart. He literally, his brain is just simply too large. Right, yeah, 17,000. So that's now not passing through the copper cable number. Okay. So that does work. You just have to have your head switched on. Okay. Okay. we pass the ammonia through to make solid fuel, and we stockpile solid fuel in various places. And then the next thing we need is to turn that into rocket fuel, and then we can just start launching rockets, really, because we need the cryogenic science packs. We need to make lithium plates for fluoroketone. Lithium plates we'll get from the brine over here, but that's not too much of an issue. The issue is that I flipping hate what I've done here. Like, I've not made this very future-proof at all. I said I wanted to use 6 cryogenic plants, I've only put 4 down, I've not given myself enough space, I've not really done anything. So, once again, rather than just dealing with it, I bite the bullet now and try and get this future-proofed a bit. And that doesn't mean I have to, you know, start again on my heating towers and stuff, but that's fine. We've got, like, chests and chests and chests of solid fuel going. So, it's fine. Except I didn't have the space, did I? So before we do the big teardown... Sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit there. Got my save files in the wrong order. Before we tear Aquilo down and start again, we will spend a little bit of time farming ice platforms. And if we're doing that, we may as well also farm rocket fuel. Rocket fuel is actually, technically, not as good as solid fuel for the heating towers, because it takes 10 solid fuel to make 1 rocket fuel, plus the 500 ammonia. The 500 ammonia could go into a lot more solid fuel anyway, but 1 solid fuel is 12 megajoules, whereas 1 rocket fuel is 100 megajoules. So 10 solid fuel is 120 megajoules. So I would recommend just doing the bare minimum of rocket fuel production to launch some rockets. Of course, this is more space efficient, but if you bring a bunch of steel with you, you can very easily just stockpile as much solid fuel as you want. So, you know, we'll just move some solid fuel over here, and that will get the heating towers back up to speed very quickly. The main issue with it's very easy to get the heating towers up to speed very quickly. What you're really waiting for is you're waiting for the heat pipes to permeate through. So if I like do something stupid, for example, like put all these heat pipes down, there'll be a default temperature of 15 degrees, and then let me open editor mode for this actually. Is your episodic editor mode has not been used? Check. And we'll slow the game down and attach this here. You will see that this quickly jumps up, but it takes like a portion of this heat pipe next to it, and then the next one does the same, and the next one does the same. So it takes a little while for it to permeate all the way down the line. And that is even worse when your heat pipes are starting from 0. So you have to be wary of cold shocking your system, really. So like, you don't want to do something stupid like this and just add 50 heat pipes very quickly to the system, because that will just draw so much heat away from everything else. And the main issue with that, we can put the speed back up to normal now, it's giving me a headache. The main issue with that is you don't want to draw the heat away from where your heat exchangers are, because if your heat exchangers drop below 500, you stop making steam, you stop getting power, and then you have to somehow kickstart the whole thing again, which is very frustrating. So just be wary of that. Like, it's not really gone too badly here, but that's because I've got a heating tower here that was probably on 1000. I've got another one here that was very high. I've got another one here which I was manually feeding, but you know, these ice platforms are extremely slow and annoying. There's no way to make them in the cryogenic plant. You have to make them in an assembler. So, you know, they use a lot of ammonia. We're recycling the excess ice just in a simple recycler fed into itself system, so every 1 in 4 ice here will output an ice that goes into here, so then that just gets recycled. And should this output an ice, it just goes back into this one. So you might see this very occasionally tick up by 1, but this gets rid of a lot of ice very quickly. Not really much need to stockpile ice once your water is full. This is the other reason why I wanted to tear this down. I didn't think of a good way of putting the ice back into the system, you know, so I'm manually melting ice over here. This has also only got room for 1 chemical plant which can only melt ice fast enough for 2 heat exchangers. So yeah, like it was pretty bad. What I did here was pretty bad. It's okay. We can redesign it. We can rebuild, make him stronger. But I don't want to spend a lot of money. Okay, this will be much better, hopefully. Hopefully. So we've got the 6 cryogenic plants here. I've built a big square of ice fill. I brought some lithium over just preemptively, just so that we can make some more lithium and some more cryogenic plants. So we've got loads of cryogenic plants waiting. We're just waiting on this to heat up, and it is heating up now, so we can turn this on. Also have to actually put power on the turbines. There we go. So obviously your biggest problem is doing a bus. It's very difficult to make a bus when you have to heat the bloody transport belts as well. You don't need to bus the oil. The oil only needs to go into the solid fuel. So the solid fuel is just being made where the oil is. There's no reason to put the oil anywhere else, so that's fine. You do need to bust the ammonia. The ammonia goes into various places. So I've put this here like this because the way the heat pipes work is it also does the diagonal directions as well. So it will definitely, obviously, I'll extend this a little bit, definitely, obviously heat this one, and this one, but it will also heat this one and this one. And this one and this one, in fact. It just obviously won't. I'm saying obviously too much now. I've noticed that. Sorry. So you can integrate a pipe of fluid into the heat pipe bus if you do this and just send it around. That will keep the heat pipe. The heat pipe will melt the fluid pipe out and will also keep the transport belts going. So that's okay. Just plowing through some research here while we've got some infinite researches that can be done. This can go now that we've got that kick started. This space will be for extra chemical plants when we need more water. This space will be for making ice flow. I don't know why I call it ice flow, but I do. It's ice platforms. We'll use this space for making ice platforms, and then we should move this up here just to give us this space here. There should be plenty of space, and it should look nice. More importantly than anything, it should look nice. So let me plug the rest back in and catch up to where we were, which is making rocket fuel, and take it from there. There we go. How much better is that? How much better is that? Interestingly, the transport world does not need to be unfrozen if you're just using it for side-loading shenanigans like this. So these 3 cryogenic plants will output the first 30 of the ice. I'll side-load those onto the inside of the belt, and then these will go do the outside. Currently we just have too much ammonia, which is a good problem to have. Here's the rocket fuel. This is probably too much rocket fuel, but whatever. It only needs 400 ammonia a second, and we're making 600, 200 of that, 120 of that goes into here. The other ammonia is so negligible in its amount. I've just done this with the rocket fuel. As I say, you can use the rocket fuel in the heating towers if you're worried about it, but I don't think it's that relevant. And we've plugged the lithium brine in. So the lithium brine, is that what it's called? Yeah, the lithium brine goes into a cryogenics plant with the holmium. The holmium is coming in via Roboport because I am not belting holmium all the way from the cargo landing pad, and it uses a vanishingly small amount. 0.2 holmium plates a second, 12 a minute, to make 5 lithium. So this makes 60 lithium a minute. Each one of those lithium turns into 1 lithium plate. You need the lithium plates to make the science, and we'll eventually need them to make the processing units, the quantum processor, sorry, and the fusion power cells, but again, these are very cheap. So really, just don't overbuild, just don't get too bogged down in overbuilding, and try not to get too disheartened with the fact that you have to do heat pipes everywhere, and, you know, rocket fuel has 2 fluids in, 2 solid outputs, 1 solid output in, 1 solid output out, and you somehow have to... oh god, what a nightmare. And a couple more... so the ice now comes up this way, just into some space, prioritises going forward on the bus, and any excess ice after it's turned into water for the power gets recycled very quickly. All of the heating towers are here now, just directly from the solid fuel plant, with a condition to just not put more solid fuel in if the temperature is already above 800. You don't want to just pick the 500 number, because, as I say, if you cold shock the system by suddenly adding loads of heat pipes, and this was already just on the cusp of 500, then you lose power. Because then this cools down to below 500, you lose the steam, everything falls. Okay, so we've got the lithium. Just need the lithium on a belt. And we need that belt to be warm. And we're good. So now, the only thing we need is... got the ice, got lithium, we need the fluoroketone. There's one small vent up here, and there's another larger island up here. Now, yes, you will have to drag a heat pipe all the way up here to get the fluorine. However, for now, just this one will be more than enough. Find a nice place for you. Oh god, yeah, like this is awful. it really is quite frustratingly bad to have to do this. It just doesn't seem very clean or anything. Do I have any heat pipes? I do. Why are they not being built? Because I don't have the ice. I don't have the ice flow. Right, I need ice flow. Let me just quickly Google the word flow, F-L-O-E, and see if I am going mad. Ice flow. A sheet of floating ice. Right, good, I am right. I knew I was. You know. Just just double checking there. Right, okay. Let's hurry up, shall we? This video is already 40 minutes long. Okay, so the fluoroketone, one pump will do 22.65 a minute for now. This will continue to improve as mining productivity goes up. Created the first cryogenic science pack. You ruined the surprise. Milestones. To make cryogenic science pack, you merely need ice, some lithium, and the fluoroketone. But the fluoroketone that comes out of the ground is not the one that you need. This is fluorine. You need to plug this in to a fluoroketone recipe, which takes the fluorine, some solid fuel, and some lithium, and some ammonia. So you just need to extend the bus ever so slightly with all of these heat pipes. This is actually cursed here, this, you know? But that's why you don't forget that you also need everything to make this, and you can't just plug the fluorine into this. That's not how it works. Don't forget that. This is easy though. It's a lot of the fluoroketone recipes are lossless. This particular one isn't, but the other ones are, in that this makes 50 hot fluoroketone, which you then cool on a 1-to-1 ratio. Can't prod modulate, obviously. You should have efficiency modules in. And then the cryogenic science packs takes 6 fluoroketone cold and makes 3 hot. So even this number, you can half this number. So this comes out, goes back into this to be cooled, and fresh comes in the pipe as and when it is needed. The other recipes, the recipes that involve processing units, consume some 10 in, 5 hot out. But the Where's the fusion ones? Oh, the fusion ones don't even need it. The fluoroketone goes into the fusion reactor once the fusion reactor is researched. This is lossless. This uses the fluoroketone and outputs it hot, and you just cool it down, and you don't need to input any more into the system once it's done. So you only need this one plant, and then you also need a way to barrel it so you can move it around to where it's needed. So this is more than enough. I built the rocket silo. I put the rocket silo down here with some requested chests that come from the cargo landing pads. It's very easy when you do it like this. Of course, the other 4 planets, or the middle 3 planets, I should say, we didn't do it like this. We made everything on site. So at least on Aquilo you get to benefit from just bringing in the processing units, the low density structures, and the rocket fuel goes into a chest here. I've got loads of it. Done far too much rocket fuel really, but that's okay. Ammonia is fully backed up, so now we're just going to farm ice flow for a while. Ice platforms. This is very, very slow in comparison to the other interplanetary science packs. This one is very slow. This is only 24 a minute. But what we'll do is we'll leave it like this, and we'll use that first 1,000 to research the things that we want, quantum processors and then fusion reactors, and then we'll come back and we will put a fusion power plant down, which will give us so much power we can just surround this in beacons and it won't really make any difference. Because if we put prod modules into this now, let's just have a quick look. This uses 300 plus 50 kilowatts, 350 kilowatts, whereas each productivity module 3 is 80% energy consumption. So, is there a good way to do this? If I do this, and then click this, and then move this, you can see the energy jump up. Look at it go. Yeah, that was a really quick way to use 30 megawatts of power. And that doesn't really achieve anything because this slows it down even more. It's the speed modules you want. But then if you've got free power, you may, if energy suddenly doesn't become a problem, then you may as well use productivity modules as well and just put even more of them down. So that's Aquilo. That is actually everything. We'll come back later. We'll just send the first 1,000 away because the first 1,000 will get us quite a lot. This is 500. Quantum processors are 500 and fusion power is 2,000. But let's not forget that on Nauvis we are using the biolabs, which have 50% science pack drain. So 1,000 cryogenic science packs is 2,000 science drain plus 40% productivity on that. So that's more. That's what's that? 2,800 science packs worth of for 1,000 science. It's just more science per science, right? And we also have to go to Gleber because I don't know what happened. Everything else is working. I just got a few pop-ups saying that my turrets were shooting on Gleber, and when I checked it, they were shooting eggs, and all the eggs have gone. I just don't understand. I just don't understand what happened. I don't know if maybe we just went so long without. No, we were consuming agricultural science. No, I honestly don't know. I feel like there's like very rare edge cases where you just run out of nutrients at the exact moment. Like this hit 0 at the exact moment this hit 0 or something, and so then it just stops. But that can't be right. Because this is inputting Like, none of the nutrients can go past this machine without this inserting nutrients into it. And you can see that the bioflux is all fine. There's no issues with the bioflux. I can't explain it. It's just clever. Just clever things. So anyway, we'll put the cryogenic sites in the ship. We'll stop back on the way. We'll stop at Gleber on the way back, and we'll get all that sorted, and we'll do some cryogenic science researches. Okay, they should be dropping down as we speak. There they are. Yeah, so these 1,000 science packs, if my calculations are correct, should get us 2,800 actual research value here. So we should be able to research the quantum processors and then the fusion reactors just from that 1,000 science. And then we'll do a few other things. Do some housekeeping items that we need to do. Everything's going swimmingly, really, to be honest with you. I added some more chests, just for reasons, doesn't really make any difference. Cova X's now, we're on 2 full chests here, 2.5 full chests here. I added a second nuclear power plant just because I was using a lot of beacons and stuff. Making speed module Mark 3s because I'm going to take those with us to Aquilo when we go back. I added another belt of green circuits, electronic circuits, just because I'd left space on the bus for that from day dot, if you remember. So I put that in. No issues really, no drama. No drama on Nauvis at all. No drama on Vulcanus. Like, I know I've not really looked at Vulcanus at all, have we? This is just ticking over nicely. Like, I've not set foot back on Vulcanus since we left it that first time. Gleber, you know, Gleber's working again now. I put the extra eggs in. We'll have to just keep an eye on it, I suppose. What you could do is you could put a speaker down to alert you to when something hasn't worked in a little while. So like if this... in theory, these assembly machines, these biolabs should always be working. There's no reason why these shouldn't ever be working. So I suppose you could set a speaker up, programmable speaker, like here, attach it to the circuit network, attach that to the biolab, and then have this send a signal, read working, control signal, tick, and then have this speaker go if tick is not 1. Send an alert, and then you could come and see. You would see that it's not working, but then you could like load your previous autosave. Like if you've got your autosave set to 5 minutes, you could then load your last autosave and come and watch what happens, knowing that it's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. I suppose would be a way around it. But anyway, I just Bill Riley. I can't explain it. Bill O'Reilly, was that his name? Do you have an O in his name? Maybe he did. I don't know. Right. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like and a comment. And if you want to see more Factorio Space Age, be sure to subscribe. Next time, we're going to come back to Aquilo, get fusion power sorted. Then the only real thing after that is travelling to the solar system edge, and that doesn't really get you much beyond Prometheum science, and the only thing you need Prometheum science for is this one research here, research productivity. I'd much rather spend some time bolstering the main base, you know, get legendary quality done, start actually looking at legendary quality stuff, getting quality done for real on places, and start mega basing it. Start mega basing it. Alright, I'll leave you with the nice sushi lab view, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.